We begin in Lagos State, where 5 people have been rescued from the rubble of a building that collapsed on Saturday morning in the state. Now, the structure, located on Oremeta Street in the Ojodu-Beja area, reportedly housed local restaurants and came down at around 8 a.m. Emergency teams from the Lagos State Emergency Management Agency are continuing search and rescue operations at the site. LASEMA's Permanent Secretary, Dr. Olufemi Okeosonyitolu, said the team is working to reach ground zero in the hope of locating more victims who may still be trapped beneath the debris. Although there are fears that lives may have been lost, no fatalities have been officially confirmed at this stage. Now, operations remain ongoing and authorities are urging residents to avoid the area for their safety.
You can't look at any bubble person. You can't say it is 10, you can't say it is 20. And that is why we are painstaking in carrying out search and rescue. And that is why we are using both light duty equipment, we are using heavy duty equipment, and all the top echelon that are important in managing emergency are on the ground. So far, we have rescued 5 alive, and the operation is ongoing. The operation is swift, prompt, effective and efficient, and I can assure you we are going to the ground.
The Lagos State Task Force has evicted hundreds of artisans from the mechanic village in Ikeja's central business district. Now, the area, once bustling with the sounds of clanging tools and busy mechanics, now lies in disarray, with distraught workers looking on helplessly as their shops are demolished. News Central's Israel Eferobo visited the site and now completes a report.
The only thing here I know for this place, whoever is in charge of this place, do all this thing for us, go free. Now what do you mean I want to tell you? Go even go free.
The mechanic village has been a hub for auto repairs, welding, panel beating, and other informal sector jobs for decades. It has provided employment for thousands and supported families across Lagos State. Many of the artisans say they were blindsided, told by market leaders in recent weeks that there was no cause for concern.
It was just unfortunate for us because today, without any information, nothing coming from our chairman or anybody, all of a sudden they just came, government just came and started telling everybody to evacuate the place.
Let's say since last year, we did hear about this thing. Maybe we are living here or we are not living. But we have a chairman for here. The other yard, the chairman, they quick give them the anything that is going on. So if they report to their people, say, this is how something is going for up. Our Lagos State, they talk about we are living here, we are not. But our own chairman for here, he will tell us that we are not among. There is no problem. We don't go anywhere, so it's only them that is going.
It's quite unfortunate today morning before we arrive at the workshop, the Lagos State Task Officer has been invade the compound that they claim that they are giving the report to our leaders, which is the chairman, for us to evacuate a part of the portion of the land.
The eviction raises questions about government transparency, due process, and urban planning. With Lagos State expanding rapidly, informal business clusters like the mechanic village are increasingly at risk of displacement, often without adequate resettlement plans.
The other time they told us that they have called lawyers or something like that, that went to meet government in the government house, that have settled with government that everything is okay, we should continue with our business. They were giving us hope. We didn't know that it was hopelessness. The chairman, everybody involved in this first gate, they should bring them to book, let them arrest them, because government must have informed them.
Efforts to reach the Lagos State Task Force for an official statement were unsuccessful as at press time. However, previous reports have hinted at redevelopment plans for the area as part of ongoing efforts to sanitize the CBD. As tools fall silent and families face uncertainty, the story of the Agidingbi Mechanic Village is a stark reminder that development must be inclusive, not at the cost of those who have built their lives from the ground up. In Lagos, For News Central, Israel Ifirobo.
In the wake of renewed violence in Plateau State, the General Officer commanding 3 Armored Division, Major General Felusha Oyinlola, has called for united action to restore lasting peace. Now speaking during an extensive stakeholders engagement, Major General Oyinlola, who also serves as the commander of the Operation Safe Haven, urged community leaders, security agencies and residents to work together in addressing the root causes of the crisis. Now, the meeting comes on the heels of recent killings in parts of the state, which have raised fresh concerns over security and communal tensions. Chizoba Nyongwe reports from Plateau State for News Central.
The look on the faces of these stakeholders gathered here is that of sadness, sorrow, and regrets. According to the GOC 3 Division and Commander Operation Safe Haven, Major General Felusha Oyinlola, is here with a heavy heart, calling for an end to this violence.
In the current situation in Plateau State, silence is complicity and inaction is extremely dangerous. When leaders fail to lead decisively against violence, they enable it. When they fail to hold their own accountable, they embolden criminal elements. I must therefore call out on all of us, not out of malice, but out of the solemn obligation to awake our collective consciousness.
He assures that security operatives will stop at nothing in fishing out the perpetrators of the attacks.
We are conducting offensive operations to track and bring the criminal elements responsible for these acts to book. Our troops have been deployed to flashpoints in the states, and we have also enhanced intelligence gathering efforts. We are further reviewing our operational strategies to reflect the evolving dynamics of the security landscape.
Some of these state actors are not just worried at these recurring killings, but rather asking for decisive move to end the acts of violence.
This is a moment that demands wisdom, not weapon. I encourage all stakeholders here to strengthen the non-kinetic interventions through dialogue, what we're doing today, mediation, traditional conflict resolution mechanism, and also inclusion of all, including the minorities in the process, in the peace-building process.
Some of the legislations we have in Nigeria today still remain. These people will continue to do their bad work, and absolutely nothing is going to happen except we fighting each other.
If all these words would be hearkened to and all hands put on deck, then sooner than later, Plateau will know peace again like never before. In Plateau State for News Central, Chizoba Anyonwe.
Chizoba Anyonwe, our correspondent, joins us now to give us an update. Chizoba, can you tell us the significance of the Defense Minister's arrival in Jos and also the reception that he received?
Welcome to Jos once again. Well, just like every other person or dignitaries that have been coming to Jos to show solidarity and of course also commiserate with the state governor as well as the people of the state for the dastardly act that took place here some days ago in Basa local government area, not forgetting the one that had happened a week earlier in Bokos local government area. So the Minister of Defense, Mohammed Abubakar, has come with great hopes for the people of Plateau State, especially the victims of this incident. And he has said that the President, Bola Tinubu, has given the assurance that victims should not worry so much about what has happened, that efforts are on ground to ensure that masterminds of these attacks are fished out from wherever they may be, and of course will be made to face justice So in their worries, in their sadness, in their sorrow, they are holding on to these words of the minister to ensure that they bring these people to book. That is the only time they will have some feeling of calm within them for what has happened. But for them, it's still a moment of grief for some of them we met today.
Okay, now still speaking of the defense minister, what areas has he been privy to visit upon his visit to Jos? Was he able to visit Bokos and, you know, other places that were affected by some of these incidences?
Okay, on arrival earlier this morning, we went straight to Bassa local government area where he met with these victims. And he spoke with them. He had a closed-door session with the traditional rulers and all the stakeholders that are necessary for him to meet. And right now, here we are at the airport for him to take off any moment from now. So we believe that the closed-door sessions he had with these stakeholders and, of course, with the military on the plateau, we believe that things are being done to make sure that this incident doesn't reoccur again.
All right. Now, earlier you talked about, you know, dignitaries coming to show solidarity to the people of Jos Chizoba. We know that the Governors Forum has visited. We know that Khan has donated items, and also the Minister of Defense, you know, is also visiting. If you're still there, Chizoba, can you tell us, just before we let you go, does this actually translate to hope for the people? All right, we've actually lost Chizoba, but we'll definitely reconnect with her. Thank you so much, Chizoba, for that. Now, moving away from that, President Bola Tinubu has issued a firm directive to Nigeria's armed forces and security agencies demanding an immediate and decisive end to insecurity across the country. Now, in his Easter message to Nigerians, the president said that the tide is beginning to turn against those fueling violence, attributing his progress to the unwavering courage and commitment of the nation's security personnel. His directive comes amid a surge in violent attacks and the tragic loss of lives in several parts of the country. And the president expressed heartfelt sympathy for those affected and acknowledged the pain and fear being endured by many communities. On the economic front, he also addressed the current hardships facing citizens, assuring the public that the government's recovery efforts are beginning to bear fruit, offering a message of hope for stability and growth in the near future. Let's also tell you that the presidency has strongly refuted claims that Vice President Kashim Shettima was denied access to the presidential villa, labeling the reports as false, mischievous, and entirely fabricated. In a statement issued by Stanley Nkwacha, Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Communications, the allegations circulated by obscure blogs were described as part of coordinated attempts to create division within the presidency. Nkwacha stressed that there is no rift between President Bola Tinubu and the Vice President, who remains fully focused on his duties and steadfast in his support for the president's shared vision. Now, the presidency also urged Nigerians to disregard such baseless claims and rely only on credible, verified sources for accurate information. President Bola Tinubu's media aide, Sunday Dare, has described recent comments by Yusuf Datti Baba Ahmed on the 2027 elections as illogical and misguided. Baba Ahmed, the Labour Party 2023 vice presidential candidate, had urged the president not to seek re-election, claiming that Nigerians will demand genuine democracy in 2027. In a post on X, Dare dismissed the remarks as incoherent and lacking substance. He likened Baba Ahmed's predictions to charlatan prophecies, questioning his political relevance and understanding of governance. Dare maintained that Tinubu's reform have received global commendation, including praise from the International Monetary Fund, and asserted that the president will secure a second term with ease. He also advised Baba Ahmed to step aside for those he described as more competent, accusing him of ignoring facts and promoting discredited narratives instead of recognizing Tinubu's achievements and leadership strengths. The news returns after the break. Stay with us. A coalition of 35 civil society organizations in Rivers State have jointly petitioned the House of Representatives over what they termed as severe and brazen acts of lawlessness and impunity perpetrated by Rivers State's Administrator, Vice Admiral Ibokete Bass. In a strongly worded letter titled Severe and Brazen Acts of Lawlessness and Impunity being carried out by the Administrator of Rivers State, Vice Admiral Ibokete Bass, and the need to nip them in the bud in the interest of mutual peace and constitutionalism, the groups called on the chairman of the Ad Hoc Committee on Rivers State Oversight to take immediate action to halt a drift towards authoritarianism in Rivers State. Now, the document accuses Vice Admiral Ibokete Bass of undermining constitutional governance, noting that he takes advantage of federal power and security operatives to intimidate public officers, suppress democratic institutions, and interfere with democratic processes in the state. Now, some key civil society organizations signatory to the petition include Rivers State Civil Society Organizations, Citizens Quest for Truth Initiative, MOSOP, Rivers State Chapter Foundation for Leadership and Youth Initiative, Niger Delta Youth for Peace and Development. Similarly, women under the banner of Rivers Women Unite for SIM are accusing the Rivers State sole administrator, Rear Admiral Ibom Ete Bass, of dictatorial tendencies. Now, the women, all clad in red clothing, marched around Port Harcourt City and made a stop at the Rivers State Government House, chanting, "We want SIM," and calling for the removal of Rivers State Commissioner of Police. News Central's Biola Festus tells us more.
With their mouths gagged and their hands bound with white clothing, displaying a symbol of bondage, these Rivers women say they have been enslaved in their own land. They took to the streets of Port Harcourt in protest to register their grievances against the emergency rule in Rivers State.
Governor Semila Efobra must be returned back to his elected position. Even the president made that clear by his statement that he is coming back, and we believe he is coming back. The concern I personally have is that when is he coming back? We don't want him to come back when they have made illegal changes that will be difficult for him to govern. It still amounts to making the state ungovernable for him.
The state of emergency is not necessary. We are appealing to our president to bring back our governor, Amopu Senebo, Simnala Efobara Joseph. He should bring him back. The injustice is too much.
God should touch the president to return back our governor, because our Rivers State has been in a peaceful environment. Our governor is a peaceful, lovely man. He has never instigated any problem.
Nobody is fighting, even at the height of provocation. How is it that it is only in Rivers State that you suspended democracy? How is it that it is only in Rivers State that you're saying that our governor, the person that we went to the polls to elect, should no longer sit in Government House? They claim that rather than fostering peace and reconciliation among the warring political stakeholders in Rivers State, the sole administrator, Ibokete Ibas, has further deepened the divide.
The continuous actions of the imposed sole administrator, Vice Admiral Ibokete Ibas, retired, have clearly exposed the ulterior and politically motivated intentions behind this so-called emergency rule. Nearly 1 month after assuming control, rather than fostering reconciliation among the political stakeholders, Vice Admiral Ibas has deepened the divide. His actions and dismantling democratic institutions and orchestrating policies aimed at achieving political domination serve only the interests of those who appointed him.
The women demanded the removal of Rivers State Commissioner of Police, CP Olugbenga Adepoju, accusing him of bias in handling the recent protests. They alleged that the CP favored pro-Wike demonstrators while treating pro-Fubara supporters with hostility.
On Friday, April 11th, 2025, we held a peaceful protest against the injustice meted out to our state. Shockingly, the police responded with force, deploying tear gas and brute intimidation in the bid to silence our democratic rights to peaceful assembly. Just this Monday, women protesting against the emergency rule in Mbiama were again tear gassed and brutalized, while another group of women who sang praises of the emergency rule were shielded and escorted by the police. We therefore demand the following without equivocation. 1. The immediate removal of the Rivers State Commissioner of Police. The full restoration of all democratic institutions, including the restatement of the duly elected governor.
Protests by Rivers women who are clamoring for the reinstatement of suspended Governor Similala Yefubara has become a weekly ritual, calling on the president to reverse the emergency rule declaration in Rivers State. In Port Harcourt for News Central, Biola Festus.
Staying in Rivers State, the state governor, Siminalayi Fubara, has reaffirmed his commitment to delivering good governance and democratic dividends to the people of the state. In his Easter message issued Saturday in Port Harcourt, Fubara emphasized the season as one of reconciliation, peace and unity, encouraging citizens to draw strength from the resurrection of Christ. He also urged residents to embrace love, hope and healing and to believe in a brighter future despite challenges. Now, the governor further called on Rivers people to continue supporting President Bola Tinubu and align with his renewed hope agenda. Fubara stated that transformation is possible through collective unity and cooperation, praying for peace, health and progress in every home across Rivers State and Nigeria during the Easter celebration. The Catholic Bishop of Kano, John Nearing, has called on Christians all over the world to reflect on Easter, its significance, and be examples in love and sacrifice. Now, speaking during the Good Friday service, he urged Christians to reflect on the lives and times of Jesus and the sacrifice of Good Friday. News Central's Emmanuel Bagadu reports.
It's Good Friday in Kano, a day with two opposing meanings. This is a reenaction of the passion of the death of Jesus Christ, a symbol of Christian faith and virtue. As residents in Kano witnessed this spectacle, it was an opportunity to reflect and refresh their memories of the essence of Christianity and the foundation of their beliefs. Though a sober day for all Christians worldwide, the annual rites and rituals of the church, comprising of prayers, sermons, veneration of the cross, and others, were all observed.
We need to carry our crosses. There are all kinds of situations of carrying our crosses. Could be in the family, things are not working very well. It could be in the business, things are not working very well. Could be health challenge, your health is not too good, but you can carry that in following Jesus behind, because that is the message of Jesus. If we have to follow him, we have to follow him through the way of the cross. And for Jesus and all others, Peter, Paul, and so on, they have instructed us that it is only through the cross that we can attain glory.
Some Christian faithful were happy to share the lessons of Good Friday, to respond positively to the sacrifice of Christ on the cross.
I personally learned to be obedient, humble, love and share with one another, because love is the reason why Christ came.
This time around is the time we reflect on the sufferings, the death, the sacrifice Christ paid for us, which we never deserved. In effect, this is a time somebody, an innocent person, died for somebody who never deserved his intervention.
The Easter celebration will be on Easter Sunday, the day many Christian faithful celebrate the resurrection of Jesus Christ from the dead. In Kano for News Central, Emmanuel Bagudu.
In a major move to drive economic growth, the Kogi state government has secured a landmark investment deal with China's Hunan province, focusing on agriculture, mining, and industrialization. Now, the agreement was signed during a high-level investment mission in China, led by Governor Ahmed Usman Ododo. The deal is set to position Kogi as a leading destination for foreign investment in Nigeria. Speaking in Lokoja, Commissioner for Information Kingsley Fangwa described the trip as a masterstroke, noting that a key feature of the partnership is the development of an industrial park in Ajaokuta, which will serve as the special economic zone. Hunan Province, China's top rice-producing region and a global steel hub, shares several economic similarities with Kogi, including rich natural resources. The state government says the partnership marks the beginning of a new era, one that will open Kogi to global markets and transform its economic landscape. As the Borno state government rolls out major water intervention projects across Maiduguri, residents of Zanari community are appealing not to be left behind. The area has been grappling with severe water shortages following the collapse of Alau Dam, a key source of water for the region. Community leaders say they fear their pressing needs may be overlooked if specific attention isn't given to Zanari in the state's restoration plans. News Central's Umar Kirawa has been tracking the story and now brings us the report from Maiduguri.
A dream come true and happy day for the residents of Lamisula, Mafoni, among other selected areas within Maiduguri metropolis in Nigeria's Borno state. It used to be a daily struggle for them to access water, leading to children missing schools, among other concerns.
Wancan azumin mun sha wahalar ruwa sosai, amma tsabar ruwa yana zuwa daga kaman Bulaburin, London, area Gwangefo da ake ba su da ruwa har suna zuwa suna iba.
Ngura ne wahalan je yayin da kanwa abun je fanne na je da shiro askare na ala shiro naftini da wayaci ala kasa ne naftini da wayaci ngara gwamnati askare na.
This has been a development that News Central has been following, a cause for the rehabilitation and improved access to water supply that was hitherto destroyed by flood.
Because of the zeal and determination of His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Borno State, he instructed Borno State Ruwasa to convert 48 boreholes, fuel-powered boreholes, into hybrid, and this is one of them. As you are seeing this borehole, it has a pump that has the installed capacity of 50 horsepower, and about 120,000 people are benefiting from this intervention. And it is one of the reasons why you didn't hear much cries from this area.
Local leaders of Zanari community at London Chiki are urging the government to prioritize the restoration of water supply to their community to alleviate the hardship faced by the residents.
Muna bukatar ruwa sosai a cikin anguwanmu na Zannari Kanti Goma. Muna bukatar ruwa, mai girma gwamna, godiya muke yi. Mun san kana yi kuma kai mai yi ne, shi yasa muke godiya, muke mika sako zuwa gare ka, kuma muke roko, muke kokon bara.
Jelno fal indiyar nguron be trinaro warswatin kamaso kongaso sama kalaro sabkata gejelno trinaro warswatin de suka jili rig jili sola yari falla indiyar nguron muradin yana fandina zo fandiyar muradin yana kalambi de nje mbe baranzu gwamna Borno
a hun naftu kuyada kozna alala shirocho ala kamande awdo horo kena so ala kanasaro ande sak njinde ande banasa mashiti ande banajin ma de kur kwaya wanda kunda kudai awala sandana sidin so kuma monti gina da isor ande doro shura askar yana ala darajan zasara.
They are calling on both the state and federal governments to expedite efforts to ensure that communities like theirs are not left behind in the recovery process. In Zannari for News Central, Umaru Kirawa.
Coming up, Malian workers' strike halted as junta union reach breakthrough agreement. We'll tell you more in a moment. Stay with us. Away from Nigeria, over 100 inmates have escaped from a high-security prison in Chad following a violent shootout that left 3 people dead and wounded the regional governor. Now, the breakout occurred late Friday near the town of Mongo in the central Guera province. Officials say the prisoners revolted over poor conditions, including lack of food. During the chaos, inmates broke into an office, seized weapons and exchanged fire with prison guards. Now, the governor of Guera, who arrived amid the unrest, was injured in the shootout. Local authorities confirmed at least 132 inmates escaped. Justice Minister Yusuf Tom says he is en route to Mongo and will provide more detailed information upon arrival. Security forces are working to track down the escapees. At least 143 people have died and many remain missing after a crowded wooden boat carrying fuel caught fire and capsized on the Congo River in the DRC. The tragedy occurred near Mbandaka in Equatorial Province. Now, according to regional lawmaker Lokumu Josephine Pacifique, the blaze was sparked when a woman lit a cooking fire close to containers of fuel, triggering a deadly explosion. Many of the victims were women and children. The exact number of passengers remains unclear, but it is believed that the vessel was carrying several hundreds of people. Footage circulating online shows the boat engulfed in flames far from the shore as thick black smoke billows into the sky, and bystanders watch helplessly from nearby canoes and small boats. Some survivors have been rescued and taken to hospital while recovery operations continue. In Mali, banks and petrol stations have reopened after union workers suspended a nationwide strike on Friday. The decision came after the National Union of Banks and Related Sectors, known as SINABEF, reached an agreement with the military-led government. The strike, which began on Thursday, was called to demand the release of 3 detained union members and improved working conditions. Mali has been under military rule since coups in 2020 and 2021 and continues to grapple with deep-rooted security and economic challenges. A joint statement from SINABEF and the Prime Minister's office announced a suspension of the strike following direct talks with the government delegation led by Prime Minister Abdoulaye Mayiga. Now let's head to Tunisia, where a court has handed down lengthy prison sentences ranging from 13 to 66 years to several individuals, including high-profile opposition figures, over national security-related offenses. Local media reports say the defendants were convicted of conspiring against state security and being members of a terrorist organization. An official from Tunisia's Anti-Terrorism Prosecutor's Office confirmed that those sentenced include prominent politicians, lawmakers, and business people. The ruling represents one of the most significant crackdowns on opposition voices in recent years. More reactions are expected in the coming days as the development raises fresh concerns over political freedoms in the country. Tensions are high in Mozambique as protesters take to the streets following the assassination of opposition figure João Amaral. Amaral, a close ally of opposition leader Venancio Mondlane, was shot on April 13 in what many believe is part of a broader campaign of political violence. Police were deployed to the scene of demonstrations where citizens are demanding justice and accountability. According to Human Rights Watch, At least 10 key members of opposition have been killed between October 2024 and March 2025. The organization is urging Mozambican authorities to launch a full investigation into the killings and ensure the safety of political activists. The growing unrest highlights rising concerns over political repression ahead of the country's upcoming elections.
Há uma fama de que a manifestação neste país constitui algum tipo de ameaça para aqueles que são os nossos governantes, mas não constitui verdade, principalmente porque é a partir daqui onde nós encontramos elementos de diálogo. É a partir destas manifestações e marchas que a Sua Excelência Presidente da República encontra uma ferramenta para comunicar com o povo moçambicano.
Agora começa a ficar claro quando alguns diziam que era a polícia ela mesma que vinha vandalizar as lojas para poder culpar a sociedade, para poder culpar, portanto, a juventude. É o que a gente está a ver hoje. Temos um número, um contingente policial muito mais elevado. Estamos a ver aqui, portanto, blindados e viaturas da polícia muito bem identificadas. É um número superior ao número daqueles jovens que estão aqui, portanto, posicionados. Portanto, é mesmo uma mensagem clara que eles estão a passar, que isto é uma ditadura e não...
In other news from around the world, the United States and Iran have resumed high-stakes nuclear negotiations in Rome just a week after both sides described the initial round in Muscat as constructive. Saturday's discussions, again mediated by Oman, were held at the residence of the Omani ambassador, with delegations remaining in separate rooms. Messages were relayed by Omani Foreign Minister Badr al-Busaidi. Tehran insists that its nuclear program is solely for civilian purposes, dismissing Western allegations of military ambitions. The negotiations mark the highest level contact between the two countries since the United States withdrew from the 2015 nuclear deal in 2018. Despite the absence of formal diplomatic ties and ongoing tensions, both sides have expressed cautious optimism while acknowledging the complex road ahead. In the world of sports, Super Falcons winger Francisca Ordega has been named Saudi Women's Premier League Player of the Month for March. Ordega beat compatriot Ashley Plumter and Congo international Naomi Kabakaba to the individual accolade. The 31-year-old registered 4 goals and 3 assists in 3 league appearances for Al Ittihad during the month. It's the first time the talented winger will be winning the award. In contention for prestigious 2025 President's Federation Cup. African heavyweights Mamelodi Sundowns and Al Ahly cancelled each other out in a tense goalless draw in the first leg of their CAF Champions League semi-final in Pretoria on Saturday. Sundowns entered the match with hopes of capitalizing on home advantage, but Al Ahly's defensive resilience and experience in high-stakes continental showdowns proved decisive in keeping the hosts at bay. The draw leaves the tie finally poised ahead of next weekend's return leg at the Cairo International Stadium, a venue where Sundowns have traditionally struggled. Al Ahly, unbeaten at home in the CAF Champions League since 2021, will now fancy their chances of securing a place in the final as they chase a record-extending 15th continental crown. English Championship side Cardiff City have sacked Omar Rizal and installed Aaron Ramsey as interim head coach until the end of the season. Cardiff are second bottom and a point from safety after losing 2-0 at Sheffield United on Friday. Rizal was handed the job in early December after an impressive stint as interim boss after Errol Bullitt was sacked in September. He has now been dismissed after 1 win in the last 9 championship games. 34-year-old Wales legend will now look to inspire his boyhood club to survival across their final 3 fixtures. While still talking sports, former Croatia international Nikola Pokrevac died in a car accident in Karlovac in central Croatia on Friday, the Croatian Football Federation said. He was 39. Local media reported that the collision, which involved 4 vehicles, also killed 1 other person from a different car. Pokrivac was in a vehicle with 3 teammates from 4th-tier club NK Vocnik, who are injured, 2 of them critically. Former Dynamo Zagreb midfielder Pokrivac played for Croatia from 2008 to 2010, earning 15 caps. He also played for League One side AS Monaco and Austrian club RB Salzburg. It is impossible to find words to comfort in such a shocking and unimaginable sad moment when we have lost a young life, the HNS said in a statement. Lando Norris edged teammate Oscar Piastri as McLaren dominated final practice at the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Norris delivered a time of 1 minute, 27.489 seconds to better Piastri by 0.024 seconds, with a 6/10 gap to Mercedes's George Russell in 3rd. Piastri had appeared the faster of the McLarens throughout the session, but made an error on his final attempt at a flying lap, while Norris improved to move to the top of the timesheet. Reigning world champion Max Verstappen was 4th for Red Bull, marginally bettering Ferrari's Charles Leclerc. Lewis Hamilton's struggle at Ferrari continued as he finishes 12th, more than a second back for the McLarens and 4/10 of his teammate. Well, that's all at this hour. But before we go, let's take another look at some of our top stories. We told you that 4 reported dead, many still fear trapped as multi-story uncompleted building collapses in Lagos. We also told you that suspended Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara reaffirms his commitment to the people of the state, urges reconciliation and support for President Tinubu. And finally, over 100 inmates escape from a high-security prison in Chad following a violent revolt that left 3 people dead. Remember, you may send your eyewitness report to the WhatsApp number on the screen. You follow us on social media. We are at News Central TV. You can watch News Central live on DSTV channel 422, GoTV channel 23, Star Times channel 274, Avo TV, and YouTube. Many thanks for watching. I'm Darshan Usman.